Welcome everyone, I am Christin Cato, and on behalf of Pregones Puerto Rican Traveling Theater, bienvenidas y bienvenidos a Stage Garden Rumba, where art meets green in the South Bronx. Launched in 2018 in partnership with Nos Quedamos, Stage Garden Rumba is an open invitation for all New Yorkers to come and experience the beautiful green spaces and casitas of the South Bronx in companionship with creatives and fearless agents of change. We're sorry that this year we won't be able to be in person, but we are so proud and excited to bring you this series on a digital platform. Today we are at the beautiful Rainbow Garden located at 757 Melrose Avenue in the South Bronx. And we will be joined by poet Joselia Hughes, activist Esperanza Martell, and we will also hear from our garden director, MAXI RIVERA. And later on, you will enjoy a spectacular performance by our very own Pregones Ensemble members. So sit back and enjoy. Thank you for joining us at Stage Garden Rumba.
The Bronx is burning with dreams of kings and queens. Boricua fever for a whole spirits that roam. Nos Quedamos soothes the weary soul. Survival is our one and only goal. Drive down the concourse, grand and mighty. We never outsource, unlike the Yankees. The Bronx is beautiful. To others we wear the Bronx like a scar. Exits up if you wanna get legit. The Bronx show me Bronx show, and Bronx show is the shit. We don't rock the boat, we build the boat, keeping our hearts and our minds and our people afloat. Bronx board, Bronx bread, old school art, the act keeps you fed. Also demons, order for your brain. Hiking in back Cortland Park to keep you sane.
Get your dance on that bed.
Your drama at Pregones.
Hip hop is South is born.
That's where the home is. The Bronx beautiful. To others we wear the Bronx like a scar. Exits up if you wanna get legit. The Bronx show me Bronx show, and Bronx show is a shit. The Bronx is beautiful. To others we wear the Bronx like a scar. Exits up if you wanna get legit. The Bronx show me Bronx show, and Bronx show is a shit.
Joselia Rebekah Hughes is a disabled writer and abstract artist from the Bronx. She is performing a poem from her forthcoming debut full-length book, BLACKABLE.
Hot take. Nah. Cool give. Me never trust a man not made at a choice. If him not speak how him feel it for know, me not listen. Too many men not made at a choice. Them throw up them bro and loose open them pockets and say me not all bad, and then kill your mother with a wickedness you not see since God earth-shaking fury down from the Bible. That's how real bad power works. It denies where it lives and say it got no home, nor retain in nobody. No machine society for rotary work, no manufacture in relation of trouble. And it needle and prick and draw blood and call it one accident. And then another accident. And then another accident. Until a whole flag of people dead from one man accident into power. There is a political demonstration for the people who don't know themselves until them know themselves, and then it is too late. I know how it feels to be late, so I show up and say nothing until the will strikes we might. Where you skipped are made too efficient, the steps in consciousness, and now where you flounder in air. But no one listens to me, and they still call me miss, like I adhere to the honorifics of loneliness. I ain't miss nowhere. I am free somewhere in myself. Everyone have one hot take and tweet up them thoughts, not knowing our extinction is predicated upon false connectivity. If the bird becomes an avatar, at least we can say we knew air before it was too toxic to breathe. Knowledge is a slippery thing once you have it. You can't make worse when you know better and blame the fireball upon some instinct of human written incomplete by men who make choice to not see they are not the only people around. At the political demonstration, the people chant up words that read impeccable, but if one not feel the fire in them belly, no sustainable food can make for dinner. And so many of us are sick of hunger when the table is filled up with bread and water and fruit and sustenance priced too high to look at. Sometimes lust is intractable, and there's a must for a referendum on the practical. If we are to give ourselves a chance on surviving the imminence of another apocalypse now, one body does not contain all of the answers, and we must sing songs even when there is no tune to follow. We must retool reality and replace what we take, extract, exploit, exterminate, and learn love as a process of cooling plenty. We must cool, we must give.
Esperanza Martell is a puertorriqueña, AfroTaína Boricua human rights activist, educator, community organizer, trainer, life skills transformative counselor, mother, and poet/artist.
I'm Esperanza Martell. I am a human rights, peace, education, and health activist. So for years, I've been organizing not only in the Bronx. I live in Washington Heights, and I've been up there for almost 40 years. Grew up on the west side of Manhattan. My family arrived here in 1950. I was 5 years old. So I have a legacy of struggle, mainly based because my mother was into supporting, caring for, and loving the community. What's important to me is that our community, no matter what happens, because we've been dealing with the ills of capitalism since forever. Not only Puertorriqueños and the colony status, but all Latin Americans, African Americans, every nationality in this country. Poor whites are dealing with the same disorder. The disorder is capitalism. Serious. The pandemic is capitalism. And we need to get out of this hole. So that I'm big on people organizing, all people, across class lines, across gender lines. We need to let go of capitalist fear, because as human beings, we could spin on a dime and we're impossibility and we could do anything. What we need is to support each other. Support organizations that have been in the forefront for years. Mothers on the Move. This is an organization by women for women. Yes, they do housing and they do everything else. Pregones, who through culture creates possibility tremendous possibility for community and have been doing this for years. And younger organization like Fierce, who is dedicated to queer youth, to trans youth. Our young people across the line, old people, young people of color, are being killed by the police, are being put in jails, are in racist schools, and they are committing suicide by the thousands. And we need to understand that there are organizations like Fierce who are working with young people and creating organizers in the face of police violence. They are taking the streets like they did in the middle of this pandemic, demanding their human rights. And with all the cutbacks, these organizations need bodies, people to volunteer, and they need money. They need donations. We as a people have to become self-sufficient. We have to get off the dole, because then we compromise our values. And our values are about bringing down an oppressive system that doesn't meet our needs and that can't be fixed because it was created for the capitalists.
Dear ex, I thought if I wrote you a love letter, it would make it all feel better. If I could put into phrases and list down all the phases of how your moon orbited around my earth, how from since birth, you never let me forget about my lack of privilege. You never let me forget about finding a means to an end. You never let me forget about the importance of a village or the importance of a true friend. Because in order for me to love you, I have to love the ugly, the jaded, the broken, the faded. I have to love the beauty, the power, the sweet, and the sour. I have to love the fact that you broke me down, held me low in dark places, had me live through tough cases. I have to love the fact that you threw me curveballs, made me bump into walls. You scarred my trip and my falls. I still wear the marks on my body. Because in order for me to love you, I also have to love the fact that you built me up. You showed me strength and survival, lifted me through spiritual revivals, taught me how to love my rivals, allowed me to break my own cycle. And through you, I've experienced the most intense joy and the worst sorrows. Through you, I have witnessed the magnitude of prayers of better tomorrows. Through you, I have so many beautiful memories that will make me smile until the day that I die. And even though I have these painful memories that I hide inside, I still rep you with pride. I cross my arms into an X because you're always gonna be that X factor, Pandora's box that stores my secrets like a malefactor. The place that simultaneously gives me a warm feeling and a pit in my gut. The place that sheltered me during my ruts. You're the place that I often call back on for inspiration. And for that, you'll always have my appreciation. So I wrote you this love letter. Because even though I'm still struggling, it still makes me feel better. Because I love you for sentimental reasons. I hope you do believe me. I've given you my. I've given you my all because I love you. X is up. X is for hug. X marks the spot. X is thug. X is hot. The X is home. The X is the Bronx. My first love.
Oh, here we go. It's party time. 5, 6, 7. Mírala. Hey, come on. Mírala, mírala.
Everybody, come on. Hey,
Come on. Mírala.
mírala, qué linda está.
Mírala, mírala.
Revolución boricua. Mírala, 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 mírala. Oh, qué linda está, qué bella está. Vamos para allá. Muy bien, por ahí va la revolución. Boricua, por ahí viene y va.
Hey, come on.
Mírala, mírala.
Hey,
Mírala. Mírala, mírala. Born in Puerto Rico, MAXI RIVERA has been a community activist for the South Bronx for over 45 years as a passionate and dedicated advocate for justice. He is the coordinator of the Rainbow Garden of Health and Life in the Melrose section of the Bronx.
My name is Maximino Rivera. A lot of people know me as Maxi Rivera. I'm the coordinator of Rainbow Community Life and Health Community Garden. I've been here as the coordinator for 2.5 years. This garden is everything for this community. 3 years ago, this garden was abandoned. There was nothing here. We got it together. We organized the people in the community. We came here. We cleaned it. We started planting. We have about 7 different fruit trees. We got like 20 different tomatoes plants in here. Community garden, they are replacing those community organizations that we used to have back in the 80s and the 70s. We don't have that many community organizations because the rent is too high, the funding are not there. So the community garden gives us this opportunity to come together as a community. It's a very important place in this community because our community has changed. Our community has changed so much that we have people from all over other communities. And they don't know our history. They don't know that this community, all of those beautiful houses that you see in there, all of those big buildings that you see in there, it was not given to us in a silver platter. We had to fight for it. And years back, we had a lot of community organizations which no longer they're in existence because probably the funding and the rent are too high. So the community garden gives us that opportunity to bring the community together, different groups. We use the community garden also to have meetings, to discuss issues. We have, right now we're working with PS29. We have last year, because of the coronavirus, we couldn't this year. Last year we have 5 classes. With the kids came over here, they took classes and they planted. They planted the bigger cucumbers, the bigger squash that I haven't seen. The garden is important because it gives us a place where we can meet and we can share experience, we can share culture. We can also organize. We could talk about the issues that are affecting our community and in our community. Like I said, it gives us a place where there are not that many places to meet, to have meetings. We also provide a garden for other organizations that they want to meet, for a place to meet. It's located Melrose Avenue in between 156 and 157th Street. Why did I do it? Because I guess I've been doing this for practically all my life. I'm a Vietnam vet. I came out of the Vietnam War 50 years ago, and I made a commitment that once I came out, if I get home, I would get home safe, I would get involved in my community, and I'm doing that.
This is a message from Carlos. He says, I support Pregones PRTT because Boricua artistic expression was born of the racial, cultural, and linguistic roots which formed us. Hacer arte es hacer patria. Help the young to know themselves. I mean, this is exactly one of the reasons why I love PRTT and Pregones, is because this was the first place I worked when I moved to New York City as a young artist. It's one of the only places in New York where I can explore my artistic side and my culture, and it's a place where both of those things can come together.
I really do feel that the level of integrity in the work, also in the sense of community with front of house and just everybody involved in the Pregones family, makes people feel happy and makes people leave the theater feeling lifted.
It speaks to our current moment here in the world where people need to escape, and I love that this theater provides inspiration and a reminder of our beautiful culture. I feel that it is a place, a sanctuary for artists, Puerto Rican artists, to develop their craft, develop themselves as people, and it provides that for not only Puerto Ricans here in New York City and abroad, but also it provides that for other Latino artists and also artists from the LGBTQ+ community.
We are so proud to be recognized as one of the leading Latinx theater ensembles in the nation. And we're home to more than 20 artists ranging from choreographers, actors, designers, playwrights, who continue to share their stories and their talent on our stages, both in the Bronx and in Manhattan. The support of our donors not only helps to keep the legacy that Miriam Colon set forth here at Pregones Puerto Rican Traveling Theater, but also impacts artists, for instance, in Puerto Rico, where we have been able to institute grants, emergency grants, to artists that were affected by Hurricane Maria, and now most recently by artists who were also affected by the earthquakes in Puerto Rico. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being part of our family.
And now, Madre de Bomba! An excerpt from Dancing in My Cockroach Killers, presented by Pregones PRTT, performed by our very own Pregones ensemble members. Enjoy!
If I had an Abuela, she would have fangs, X-ray vision for men who make false promises, and a special tea to make them true to their word, refilling their cup until she is satisfied. If I had an Abuela, she would carve dragon heads into her rocking chair that come alive when she is angry, spreading fire to places where she won't sit, away from where she doesn't.
My Abuela would dance naked at the Hunts Point Market in front of the cherries that would spill their juice at the sight of her. No one would dare call the cops or laugh. I assure you someone would carry her basket of yautía up 6 flights to her apartment. Thick-skinned roots boiling in her melting pot of... Boricua kitchen generosity.
My abuela would have a machete by the door, a rosary in the pocket of her bata. Mothers would drop dead from a look. And just in case that didn't work, there would always be a live mousetrap in the pocket of her pocketbook. For abusers, bullets in her nostrils, cobras in her ears, alum in her tears of rage to suck dry even the thought of raising a hand to her.
My abuela would have mule legs. Kicking in the smarmy face of injustice. My abuela would not be polite if there was too much salt in the bacalao, and leave the table if there was not enough.
My abuela would have rooster feet with claws that hide treasures beneath the hen house for tomorrow's eggs.
My abuela would love Motown as much as Loisa. Swing from the branches between Boriquén and Cuba. Tell you about blackness as you stretch iron, bleach your hair into submission. Offer you the cigar of intelligence. Give you another chance. But not too many.
Fools belong to worms, she would say, and sink her fangs deep into your heart. Pierce you, shake you, until there is room for light,
love,
and music,
and presence.
Enter.
Penetrar.
I see.